What is up, boys and girls? Welcome into Washington Hangover. I'm your host, Collin Shoot, with my partner in crime, Nicholas Webster. What's up, bud?
Uh, you know, um, what can you say?
Yeah,
What can you say? I was a field goal away from my prediction being correct, Colin.
I saw that.
I, I, I'm just so steamed. 34-20. You couldn't just keep it at 31-20 Browns. Oh,
You were very
way
damn
to get
close.
me.
I was keeping an eye on that. I thought for a second you might get it. I thought they might just take a big old knee.
It's not fun. That's what I found out. If you put a score prediction in for the other team, it's not fun to be correct. It doesn't give you any, for me, it doesn't give me any sense of euphoria.
No,
It still sucked.
no. To lose by double digits, yeah, it sucked. It sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get into this. We're here.
I guess you're the doctor today. That's
Yeah,
that's what it's starting to
sometimes we
shape up as.
play um, Washington therapist, and I've been taking some psychology classes. It's a fun little game we play. I think we might have to
Good.
play that today. Um, I don't know. Nick, welcome in to my office. How are you doing? Let's get started. What's going on today?
Here's my big thing, Colin. Like number one, why I'm in your office today, is I'm just unsure of the end of these games. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I put myself out there, I give myself 3.5 quarters, and then when it comes to the end, the big moment at the end of the night, nothing. Where are we? Why are we not doing anything?
Well,
Couple run plays, take a knee.
yeah. Let me ask you this because this is something I touched on last week when we played the Cardinals and we lost. I know we're behind. I know that the odds are completely against us. But I got to agree with the announcer here today. I don't know if you had the volume up, but my philosophy is you don't leave timeouts on the field when you're losing. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't get why we throw in the towel. Why are we throwing in the towel? Why are we putting up the white flag? We're just calling it quits. We don't believe in ourselves, it seems. It's a strange message. And, I'm a big Ron fan. I like the way he's leading the team. But that's one thing I got to strongly disagree with. I don't understand why you leave those timeouts and just let the other team run out the clock. It's very confusing to me. I want to play all the way to the end. That drives me nuts.
I think can't we at least use the crunch time for some valuable teaching moments? I mean, there's a certain energy and drive that happens in crunch time, right? LeBron called it closing time,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to win the game.
Closing
And
time.
most more than not, we're behind double digits. We're not going to win the game, but the young guys need to have that experience out there, and to just fold it in because of injury. It's just tough. It's a tough pill to swallow because there's such a rah rah mentality, for the rest of the game, and then at the end it's like, nah, no, no, just kidding, nah, we're good.
Right. To me, it creates a feeling. It's a morality issue, really. I don't want the team to start giving up with 5 minutes to go because they're used to it. They're thinking, we have no chance. We're not going to even call a timeout. This game's over. Injuries are not. When you're behind, I want to see you continue to fight till the end. That's the mentality I want the team to have. I want the team to have the mentality that this game is not over until the fat lady sings. Play through the whistle. I don't get that. It really bothers me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fat lady was singing, way too early. 5 minutes earlier than they should have been. Um, I don't know. I really don't quite understand it. I mean, you want to talk about the morale bumps that we had in the road today, Colin? Which one? There was a couple of really really shots to the nuts this game, injuries, turnovers. Which one was the biggest one for you today? We talked about this podcast, especially the post game, was going to be a little more raw and a little more right after the fact. Which one hurt the most?
Which bump hurt the most? Like which roller coaster bump? Yeah, it was like in Virginia King's Dominion, it was like the Anaconda. It was a long, slow, winding roller coaster. I love that ride. There's some real good thrills, but damn, your neck will hurt by the end of it. Those corkscrews are a bitch. Yeah, there were some real bumps out there. I mean, look, I think the worst bump in it was that third pick by Haskins. Okay, you had just scored twice, and then you gave up a pretty quick touchdown to the Browns, but you were in this game fourth quarter. Okay, you had gained some momentum. Haskins had settled down. He had made some nice completions, a great touchdown pass to Inman, his second of the day. We'll talk about him. He was a real positive in this game. But, man, it was that third interception for me. He just stared down his receiver like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It was like watching the Jungle Book, when the snake's eyes just like fixate on its prey and just hypnotize. He couldn't look away from his targets today. He had a very difficult time going through progressions. There were a few times where I did see him go through, including that touchdown pass to Inman. That was really nice, especially in the red zone on third and long. That was a tough play. It was a great play by Haskins, but for the majority of the game, he was laser focused on one target, and he wasn't reading the coverages, and his picks were really ugly. It's not like the corners made great plays. And let's not forget, the Cleveland Browns had injuries today in the secondary that we should have taken big advantage of. There were injuries there, and the corners didn't have to make great plays. So, it was that third pick that was most disheartening because you had a chance to win the game, and you just gave it right back to him.
Yeah. Yeah, but it sounds to me like it was a culmination. When I heard you describe that, it sounded like it was a buildup of frustration that really crescendoed at that third interception. For me, it was the fumble. My crescendo kept going till the fumble, which I can't put it all on him, but it was just like, oh my God, that was the kind of day it was today.
Yeah, tough matchup for Jerron Christian.
We're gonna say that every week, though, regardless of who he's going up.
Regardless if
Tough
it's Myles
matchup for
Garrett
Jerron Christian.
or whoever it is. It's gonna be a tough matchup. Overall, the offensive line. I want to ask you, thus far through the season, it was a huge weakness going into the schedule. How are you feeling about the O-line right now?
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. But it's hard. Once again, it's kind of hard to discern. If you listen to the Cooley breakdown or you look out there, the pockets aren't the best. I mean, Myles Garrett, he had a monster game today. Jerron Christian, I thought, looked pretty bad, but it's hard for me to discern what kind of the problem is. I will say this, Morgan Moses, he's usually on my shit list most of the time on this podcast, but he will. He's at least off there for now. You won't hear a peep out of me. It at least felt like some stability on that O line.
Yeah, I gotta say I can't be too mad at the O line. I feel like Haskins has adequate time for the most part.
Can you be mad at Jerron Christian though?
I'm not too mad at him today. Myles Garrett is he's a freak. He's a great pass rusher. I'm just not gonna get too sore with him today. He got beat, yes, but overall, I didn't feel like Haskins had no time to throw all day. I feel like he had time. And I feel like the backs had room to wiggle. I feel like they did enough, okay? And the defense, while they didn't play a great game, I'm not terribly upset with them because, damn, I mean, you're going to give them. What was the average field position that the Browns had? You're giving them short field after short field, and it just
Yeah.
makes it really hard on the defense. Do they have a great game? No, but not by any means, especially defending the run in Nick Chubb and Hunt. But, you give them short fields with all those turnovers, it's going to be tough sledding.
Things started to unravel when the injuries along the D line started to quickly piled up, Felt like we were playing Kyler Murray again. It was real slow, and then phew, it's two players right there, Matt Ioannidis and Chase Young, out. Not good. Not good. I felt like that's where the tide changed, because I felt like that's where Nick Chubb started to really kind of get dominant. I mean, those cutbacks, the announcing crew, it was interesting watching that telecast,
Mm-hmm.
because the announcer guy really kind of talked through and predicted some of the plays that would happen against this Washington football team. And one of them was the cutback lanes that were obviously there. And he showed you on replay on the telecast. And then to see Nick Chubb take advantage of it the second time, it's like,
Yeah.
geez.
Yeah, I thought they did a really nice job, the announcing crew today. Yeah. Some of these games that we watch are painful to listen to. I thought they did a nice job. Yeah.
Oh, I got a question though.
Okay.
The guy said, this is the announcer,
Yeah.
he said that it's not what you usually expect from two guys with 6 years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not a math expert, but 6 years of Terry McLaurin and Dwayne Haskins, I don't think so. Right? Did they play high school ball together?
I think what he meant by that is that if they were together, yeah, for that long, was it a mistake, or did he mean like if they had been together? The way I interpreted it was if they had been together for 6 years, they would be that good. But it doesn't make much sense because they did play together at Ohio State. But Haskins only played 1 year, right, as the starter?
Yeah. No, he implied that they had played together for 6 years.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that's
and
news to me because I'm counting three, right? This is the third year?
yeah, yeah. I think he lumped college into 4 years, and then he said second year as a pro.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah,
But no.
I'm short
Yeah.
math. Quick
Um,
hand.
yeah, well, you know, everyone screws up here and there. Regardless, yeah, they were not in sync. Haskins definitely missed McLaurin in the end zone. He did come back with a throw to Inman in the next play. But, I mean, the big story of the game, Nick, is Dwayne Haskins, It's unfortunate that we kind of talked about him in the pregame show. Not in the most positive of terms. We weren't too hyped about him. And yeah.
You guys aren't really fans? Are you shitting me? You're gonna come on here? Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. You can't hate Dwayne Haskins. I love him.
Well, that was the tough thing is I was really rooting for him this game. And when he threw that first touchdown pass, I really felt so genuinely happy for Dwayne. 7 of 10. It was a great drive, capped off by a really nice route by Inman and just a fantastic strike from Haskins. And you're just like, all right, this is great. This is just what we want. He's really clicking here. He seems to be in a groove. He did almost throw a pick, but Mr. Wright there, huh?
There
Isaiah Wright.
Yeah, let's stop the podcast wherever you are. Isaiah Wright, number 83. My goodness.
What a hit. Can we please start him at safety in place of Troy Apke? Can we get that petition going? Because, damn, he can lay the wood better than I've seen Troy Apke hit anybody. Has he hit anyone? God, I know he made a few tackles, but jeez. It's painful
I will
watching
say
him.
today, Amke, yeah, once again, kind of rough. I mean, he definitely played more the safety valve where they gave up like 40 yards as opposed to touchdowns. But I did hear on the broadcast an Apke with a touchdown saving tackle.
Yeah, yeah.
And thank God I was sitting down. But
Yeah.
that did happen. That was real today.
It was real. It was real, but I don't think it lasted too long.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, all in favor for Isaiah Wright taking over Troy Apke's place. Please let us know. um, Damn. Yeah. So look, I mean, Haskins got off to a really nice start, and then it just became, he just became very inaccurate. Just was staring down his receivers all game. That first pick was really ugly. The second pick
Yeah.
was ugly. The third pick was ugly. It wasn't great plays by the corners. I don't know how many times I can say it. It was really frustrating, and I was rooting for Dwayne really hard. So when he came back in the second half and we strung together a couple scores, it was like, oh, okay, cool. He's gonna go through some growing pains, but this is great to watch him come back. And I think that's why the third pick was so painful to me, Nick. Just went right back to it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I know you're on social media on the Twitter side of things, and I was monitoring things on IG and conversing with some fans. People are turning on Haskins. They are turning on
Look,
him quickly.
it's just that he came into this season with this kind of invincibility bubble that you couldn't criticize him. He was the accepted, future of the franchise, and he was going to be the savior and all this sort of stuff. He was wearing the number 7. You can't talk bad about somebody like Dwayne Haskins. He's inexperienced, like all these kind of things compounded on top of it where you couldn't criticize whether he had a good game or a bad game. And that kind of was evident in week 2. And, it kind of fell apart at the seams a little bit for week 3. I thought they scripted the first, beginning of the game very well. It was exciting. It was exciting to see some efficiency happen with that offense. He definitely does benefit from some of that, hurry up. That's obviously something good for him and,
Hmm.
and needs to be implemented going forward.
Yeah.
But the inaccuracies, my goodness, and you're right, those interceptions that today, they weren't outstanding defensive plays. They were stuff that, maybe you or I could make on a good day back in the 20s in the sandlot, the 20s.
Man,
Back when we were alive
20s.
in the 1920s.
Didn't it just
Um,
turn 2020? Um, yeah,
I did have this kind of
in our
pop up a little
20s.
bit.
I got you.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about this.
Yeah.
Um, on the defensive side, I've started to develop a little bit of more of a critical eye when watching number 26, Landon Collins. And there was starting to be some murmurs and ripples in the Twitter world about him.
Hmm.
What was your kind of feel on the pulse and what were your thoughts? He gets a lot of money and
Yeah.
he makes some misses.
Yeah, I think he does get a lot of money for his performance. I mean, he was highly, highly touted, coming out of college. For a while with the Giants, it looked like they had a top tier dog at safety, and there's a reason that they weren't too concerned, I think, with keeping him there. I think they saw some breakdowns in his game, and for the amount of money we paid, I gotta say, yeah, I'm not blown away by Landon Collins' play at all. He's got a tall task back in that secondary, but
With Troy Apke, yeah.
yeah, it's like playing babysitter. But yeah, I got to agree with you. I'm not too impressed by him. Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just frustrating to see us give up 17 points in that fourth quarter. It was a real breakdown. And look, there's a lot of depth on that defensive line. So I'm not going to say, hey, well, Chase and Matt were out. That's why we got ran over. I don't think that's an excuse. You got too many guys down there. You got Jonathan Allen, you got Deron Payne, you got Tim Settle, Kerrigan, Montez Sweat. Big props to Montez Sweat. Great game from Montez Sweat. Boy, he
Yeah.
looked fast chasing Baker Mayfield. Really
Yeah,
impressed
he
by
did.
him. He seems to have progressed. So you know what? There's enough talent on that defensive line not to get ran over. And the Browns
Yeah.
ran 37 times, and they had their way in the fourth quarter. So I don't know if it's conditioning or what, but the second level has got to help out the linebackers and the safeties. Troy Apke, I don't know how many times we can say his name. Like, Landon Collins can't come up and make all the plays at safety. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's also tough in that linebacker core, though. Other than Kevin Pierre-Louis,
Mhm.
nobody really sticks out to me when I'm watching the game. At least last year, I mean, I guess John Bostic,
He
he
had
did have
some.
some good
Yeah, he
plays.
did. Yeah.
I'll give props to him for
Yeah.
that. But kind of last year, I guess just because Cole Holcomb was so fast, I felt like I saw Cole Holcomb everywhere last year. And this year, I just don't quite see that linebacker presence
No.
as much. And yeah, if it's not the D line making plays and it's not Landon Collins, it's not good news for the Washington football team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, the secondary. I don't know. If we would have said before the game, hey, if the secondary could do as well as they did today, would you be satisfied? I thought it was a challenge for them today going up with OBJ and Hooper and Landry and Baker Mayfield. Yeah, they did okay. They didn't do great, but they didn't give up any busted plays. They did all right. They kept things in front of them for the most part. But you just got
Yeah,
ran over, man. You just got ran over, and you got put in a terrible position by Haskins with all those short fields. Um,
yeah.
Mr. Spence here says the Browns need to be better. Haskins won the game for Cleveland. Um, yeah, it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue that Haskins put him in fine position, but to the Browns' credit, that run game is strong. It is very strong.
Yeah. Well, and see where is the distinction? Because where is the line between Dwayne Haskins and growing pains and Haskins losing games, right? Because I agree with the sentiment, right? That he won the game for the Browns. But where do you switch from, oh, he's developing, he's a young quarterback, to, okay, yeah, we've seen enough of this.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know the answer.
today was pretty
Yeah,
clear to me. You know, where the first two games, you don't have a turnover. It's hard to get super upset at the quarterback. Yeah, he was somewhat inaccurate, not making a lot of plays downfield. You could put some blame on Haskins, absolutely, but today, I think the difference is in the turnovers. That's really the thing, for me. You start turning the ball over, the game completely shifts. And hey, the Browns scored 21 points off of those three picks,
yeah,
and they got
yeah.
points off the fumble too, didn't they? Field goal at the end.
They ruined my score prediction.
Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
so.
Um, what did you think of the play calling today, Nick? What did you think of Turner's game plan? Was it sufficient for you? Did it do enough? Were they running the ball enough, mixing it up? Did you think we had an optimal chance to win from the coaching staff?
Hey, I love the beginning play calling. I mean, I know we didn't do so well in that first drive, but I liked the up tempo stuff. I liked to see some more of that misdirection. Antonio Golden Gandy, nice to see him actually out on the field. Wish he didn't get so thumped by
Holy
Carl Joseph
shit.
on that end around.
Holy shit. Hey, he looked fast. The Candy Golden. Willy Wonka. He looked really
He looked
quick.
like I was playing Rocket League, man.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang,
He
bang.
got
Little
crushed.
pinball.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
smacked. It was good to see him out
Um,
there. Yeah, there were some wrinkles on those little end arounds. That reverse, I kind of wish it was to the far side of the field instead of the short side. Always a little weird on those reverses, as you don't have as much room. But there were some cool little wrinkles. I thought the tempo was nice. Yeah, I can't be too mad at the play calling overall. Um,
What'd you think of the run game? I know you're always critical of that.
yeah,
I thought that the balance at least was there. Not that the production always got, what you wanted,
yeah.
but
There were a couple situations, 3rd and 2, where I thought the offensive line was actually creating some leverage and creating some holes, and I wish they would have ran in some of those situations. There are a few situations here and there that I just didn't have the faith in Haskins, and I'd rather just run it up the gut a couple times and see what you got. 3rd and 4th down,
yeah,
3rd and short, 4th and short. Um, I thought they got a little bit cute here and there, and Haskins took a bad sack on one of those 3rd and 2s, and so yeah,
was that the shirt pull? Is that what that's going on?
I think that was a different one, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there were a few where you
What
just
the hell's up with the shirt tails?
yeah,
It's bothering me. I've never seen it happen so much.
yeah.
Everybody's getting pulled down there by the shirt now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an equipment issue or what. It is strange. Yeah, I gotta say, I've never really seen it happen so many times.
Get a Zeke cut. Get it cut at the navel. If I gotta see every football player's belly button, oh well. Because we would have converted that 3rd down. If
Oh,
that would have been a 1st down, we would have been marching down the field.
oh, you want to go back to like the '90s with Cordell Stewart and yeah, the cutoffs, Michael Westbrook. I don't know why I'm naming Colorado football players. That's just the image that comes to mind with cutoffs. Um, yeah, man, I'm not mad at the coaching in terms of play calling this game. I think they gave him a shot. They gave him a shot to win, and you can't say they don't give Haskins enough chances. They sure let him
Yeah,
sling it. So he had optimal opportunities to make the Browns pay, and they just didn't execute.
yeah, yeah. I thought Terry McLaurin. I thought they really tried to get him the ball,
Yeah,
and he,
yeah,
did what Terry does.
yeah.
Which for me has really kind of solidified. I came in with some questions, right? How is he going to handle being the number one wide receiver? I mean, he's the only receiver out there on the field, so he's okay being number 1, 2, and 3 with Isaiah Wright playing, strong safety on offense. I think we've got a real possible chance here. With
Yeah,
COVID, anything's possible, Colin. Super
yeah,
Bowl!
I know, right? My dad texted me during the game after we took the lead, and he was like, "Playoffs?" He was kidding, if you know my father. But yeah, let's touch on that for a bit, right? You need help. I saw some posts from some other Washington social media pages saying they really liked what Terry was doing, but he needs help. He needs some talent around him. I gotta say, Mr. Inman, he looked good today. He really stepped up. I thought he ran some really clean routes, and he made the most of his opportunities with 2 touchdowns. I was impressed by what he brought to the table. Even a little shiftiness on, I think, a 3rd and short. Yeah, he looked good. Couldn't ask more for him today. He stepped up.
He did. The reason I give you this forlorn face is the way they were holding his wrist when he was leaving the field. My my God, I don't know if you saw, but there was one little
Mm.
cutaway. It was only a couple seconds,
No, I
but
didn't.
they had the trainer with him. Looked like he was holding a ruler almost under his wrist. But it was just dangling there. I don't know. Whenever a grown man is holding the other grown man's wrist,
Yeah.
it can't be good. Can you play with a broken wrist? That's my next question. Because I thought Dontrell Inman provided a nice spark, 2 touchdowns on the game, but I don't know how long he's going to be out for.
Yeah, I missed that. I did not see that. makes my
Yeah.
voice just crack at the thought of it.
Just takes me back to puberty. I'm so disappointed with that news.
Doing these podcasts with you, my throat just gets so dry. I'm just so emotionally spent with these these talks. I did not see that. I didn't see the wrist break. I can't imagine playing wide receiver in this league with a
Yeah.
sprained wrist or whatever it is. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Just the harbinger of bad news. It's just because I broke my wrist, and when I saw him, I think he made the catch or he was blocking. I can't remember the play, but I remember the way he was sitting down on the field and the way that he was kind of cradling his wrist next to his groin. Um, that happened to me in soccer. It's just kind of this like fatal position where you just bring your damaged body part as close into your body as possible.
Must
And
put
I was
this
like,
injury near my groin because I gotta protect something. Everything's breaking down around me. My manhood. Uh, yeah.
we'll see. Maybe it's not. Maybe I misread the situation. I'm not a doctor, never claimed to be one, and
Maybe
never got the call back on that audition either.
maybe that's
So,
just how he walks. Maybe he just
true.
has a little flair. Um,
Hold my left wrist. I'm leaving the stadium.
I'm disgusted. I had 2 touchdowns today. This is awful.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, the
Uh,
Browns. We lost to the Browns.
yeah. Yeah. We did lose to the Browns. The Browns didn't
We
look
gave
great.
the Browns a win. That's what I think we did.
Yeah, yeah. That's the most frustrating part. Yeah. You had a chance and you really made it easy for Cleveland. You made it really easy. I would love to know the average field position that Cleveland had in this game. It's got to be close to midfield. you
That's
know,
what I was thinking. Yeah.
um, it was
Yeah.
it was really frustrating. Let's take a minute, play a little game, if you will. Okay.
Uh, okay.
Dwayne
I'm in.
Haskins. He
Uh-huh.
threw 37 times today. How many completions do you think he had?
I'm gonna go with probably 50%. I'm gonna say he had 19.
Not bad. Pretty close. 21 to
Okay.
37.
It
Um,
seems like he made one and missed one every time. 2 yard completion and a miss.
yeah,
4 yard completion, a miss.
yeah. 224 for Haskins, 2 TDs, 3 picks. How many sacks do you think he took?
Ooh, I really have no. Somewhere in the middle. Let's say three.
Yeah, you did it. Nailed it.
Nice.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, who was our leading rusher today?
J.D. McKissick, I would vote.
Wrong. It was Antonio Gibson with 9 carries,
Mm,
49 yards. Although I will say to you, McKissick, 5 carries, 15 yards only, but he did look pretty good out there. He made some
yeah.
catches. He made 3 catches for almost 40 yards. So you might
Okay.
have been thinking
Okay.
that. He looked
I
shifty,
liked
didn't he?
McKissick today. Yes, he did. I was really pleasantly surprised. I had a sore spot when we got McKissick
Hmm.
because I knew that meant Chris Thompson
Yeah.
wasn't probably going to be on the team anymore.
Right.
But I thought he was shifty. I thought he was shiftier than Antonio Gibson looked today. But obviously I was
Yeah.
incorrect.
Gibson, another really good day in terms of average yards per carry, 5.4 yards. A touchdown.
That's good.
He did a pretty good job out there. We rushed the ball how many times?
Hmm. Well, okay, you told me Haskins threw for 38.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say we probably ran for 25.
Very good guess. 22 carries on the day, 103
Hmm,
yards, 4.7 average. So I mean, this kind of brings me to a
pretty
point.
good.
we're running the ball well. And I think some of that is because of the balanced play calling, right? Teams don't quite know what to prepare for. So there is nice balance. But I got to say, with the way Haskins is playing, I would say let's just try to depend on that run game a little more. If these averages are good, let's keep it rolling. Let's just I'd rather see them run on some of these third and shorts and see what happens. Maybe take the ball out of Haskins' hands in some of these situations. All right.
If he's going to throw 3 interceptions,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
3.5 if we don't count the Isaiah Wright tackle. Yeah, we're going to be running the ball quite a bit.
yeah. I will say. All right, let's switch it over to team stats real quick. Total plays were equal. Browns and Washington each had 62 plays. How many yards did the Browns have, and how many did Washington have?
All right. Felt like the Washington had, I don't know, 250, 270. I mean, the Browns didn't. I thought the Browns had probably had less because of that good field position you talked about. I'm going to say only like 200 yards for the Browns.
Yeah, not bad guesses at all. 300 Browns, 300 for the Browns, 309 for Washington. So you were correct in the fact that we had more total yards than Cleveland, but
Mm.
those short fields were brutal. This is
I'm surprised that the plays were the same. I
yeah,
really felt like that Cleveland offense was on the field so much today.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
in the fourth quarter for sure, right? It just was total domination. I mean, here's the thing, Cleveland they only passed for a buck 42. That's what
wow.
I mean by I can't be too mad at our secondary. You give up
Yeah.
142 yards, but I mean Nick Chubb, you know, he just destroyed us in that fourth quarter.
Kendall Fuller was active
Yeah,
today. Exciting first game playing for the Washington football team. Did you, not putting on your super coach goggles or
yeah,
something, but did you notice his presence on the field?
yeah. I did I did notice it. I can only think of Austin Hooper catching one ball against him. I can't think of any other receptions made against him. So while it did seem to be a quiet day for him, I think that's good. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I can't ever remember thinking, damn it, another snag made against Fuller. I didn't hear his name called very much, but when you're a corner, that's a pretty good sign. So
Yeah.
it did seem to make a difference in the secondary. Happy to have him back,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
Need him. Need
Yeah.
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you got anything else? Who do we have next? I don't even know who we're playing.
Um,
I was so hyped for this Cleveland game.
yeah.
It was something different about this game because I felt like you were really going to find out which team you were. Were you the team that beat the Eagles, or were you the team that got shellacked by Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals? I don't know if I got any answers today, but I'm more inclined to feel like the Arizona game.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to give up that kind of yardage in the run game, I mean, come on. You have no control. And
Yeah.
that is most pronounced in the fourth quarter. If you
Mm.
can't control the line of scrimmage in the fourth quarter, and I get it, losing Matt on the inside, it's big. Losing Chase on the outside, huge. But damn, there's too much talent on the defensive line to be giving up that kind of yardage. And here's another thing too. I'm sure they were butt tired because we kept giving them the ball every 10 seconds. It doesn't help your guys out when you're turning it over like that. So, that's something to think about. Another reason, Nick, why you probably put this game on the forefront, besides the fact that it was the game we were playing today, is because next week we got to go up against the Baltimore Ravens, against Lamar
Oh,
Jackson. Ugh, God, I don't want to watch that game. I am not looking forward to that game. I want to watch the
Yeah.
Chiefs-Ravens game. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be so fun. I have no stake. But to play against Lamar? Yeah, your face says it all.
Yeah. Look,
That's
I'm
terrifying.
0-2. I'm gonna be 0-3 in my fantasy. Lamar Jackson is my quarterback. He's a must start next week now. Now with this knowledge, I'm feeling like I'm gonna get my first fantasy W next week. Um, Washington,
Oh,
we get people
you're
paid.
gonna roll up the points. You're gonna roll them up. If you think Kyler Murray's twitchy, Jesus, H. Uh, Lord,
All right. Well, let's save that for the midweek
yeah,
podcast. We'll put it out there Thursday morning, where we preview the Baltimore Ravens game.
yeah, yeah. It's not, it's not gonna be the funnest thing. Man, I just gotta say, I was really hoping for a W today. You know, you want to keep football as interesting for as long as possible. It was kind of fun waking up today. You know,
Yeah.
I set my alarm here on the West Coast. I get jazzed in the morning. You know, I'm up and excited to make some coffee and get on the social media and turn on the game and I just don't want that to slip away. And it just feels like it's coming. Winter is coming.
Well, and for any new viewers out there, Colin is also a Florida State fan, and it's looking like another rough season for you in the college football front
Really,
too.
Nick? Really?
I
I thought you were my friend. You asshole.
hit them when they're low and hit them when they're high. You
Jeez.
know,
Shot to my nuts.
I
Good.
couldn't believe the score,
Yeah,
Colin. I couldn't believe the
I
score
know.
of that game.
Yeah. Most points that the Knolls have ever given up to the Hurricanes in school history. So, yeah.
Mm.
It's how the mighty have fallen. All right, guys. Thanks so much
What
for
was the
tuning in
score?
on this loss. I hope that we found some positives and that we kind of got inside your brain and, you know, cleaned it out a little bit so you can go on with the rest of your Sunday afternoon and not mope around feeling like dog crap. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Please be sure to tune in to our podcast throughout the week. What you got there, Nick? What is that?
That was the best part of the game. We got some dumplings. That's right. Pork, cabbage, and leek dumplings. Great.
Speaking of dog crap, you know. What is that?
That's what. It's delicious. It's great. This is the package.
It's
We ate them.
wow. Yeah, I don't see a speck of dust in there.
Mm-mm. 8 servings. Bullshit. I'll eat it in one.
You getting that in Chinatown?
I got a mart I go to.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Get your dumplings, live eel,
Wow. What does it
all in
taste
one
like?
place. The live eel, it's very chewy.
I'd imagine. They don't do they season it? Little paprika?
They just throw it at you. Yeah. They say, "Have you paid?" I said, "Yeah, I paid." Boom.
Wow. Yeah.
Very cool.
What does that
Yeah.
stuff taste like?
The dumplings, they're great. Man, I gotta tell you, if you have an Asian mart, you go to the frozen section, they have all sorts of dumplings and gyoza and mandu and dim sum, all these wonderful things that you can heat up either on the stovetop or in the oven.
Yeah.
I have found that it's a fantastic kind of football noshing place. You are gonna maybe have to have somebody wonderful that will cook it for you during halftime. Shout out to my wife
Hey.
Kira for that.
Woo.
Um, but it was great. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I got one called Seafood City. I always enjoy the shrimp chips. I'm a fan of the seafood chips. You ever try those out? Prawn
Wow. I
chips?
have had Old Bay chips.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
I
like those.
don't think I've had shrimp chips.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm sure
I
they got
assume
them.
they're pink.
They can be. They can be.
Okay.
Sometimes not.
How many? You've had a lot of shrimp chips?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's fun to say.
Shrimp chip.
Yeah,
Shrimp
I have a few
chip.
shrimp chips.
Yeah.
Shrimp chips.
Yeah, it's a good time. All right, guys, we're just, we're just rolling here. Trying to distract ourselves from the misery. Thanks for tuning in. For Collin Shoot here in LA, Nick Webster in New York. Be sure to tune in next week and look out for our contest that we do an hour before kickoff every week. Our score prediction contest. We're doing a $100 giveaway. It's free to enter. Did anyone win today that you know of? You were the closest,
No,
probably, huh?
I will tell you, it was 98% Washington win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was an easy one to calculate.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll talk to you real soon. All right. All right. Bye.
Distracting from the